how has the NFL received this news from you?
Look,
Charlie?
to us, the NFL is complementary. Like we look at a relationship with the league as we look at the MLS and the Premier League soccer, is that not only should they coexist, but they should be able to support each other and help each other. And so one of the things about obviously having Bill at the top of this, but also the types of coaches we're bringing in and the advisors that we have working with the league are about, really messaging to the NFL that we have zero interest in competing with them. That's a fundamental waste of time, mainly because we're in a different season. Mm-hmm. But second of all, for all of the ills or lack of ills around the NFL, ultimately you're talking about the most dominant sports entertainment product in the United States by a wide margin. If you took the next 4 closest sports and you added them together, you'd still have only 1/6 of the rating of an average NFL game. And so we look at them as somebody that is, like I said, complementary.
And how do they view you, though?
It's been, look, you more than anybody knows how positive a relationship I've had with the league for a really long time.
Right.
We're not in Atlanta by accident. Like we're not going to go in charging into what is maybe the most powerful owner in the league and say like, oh, we're going to set up in your backyard without at the very least knowing that we're not, let's say we're not persona non grata.
So what would you say the average age of the players are going to be? Because the average NFL career, remarkably, is about 4 years long. That's why I always think of whenever I'm at a rookie symposium, that I look across that room of all the drafted players, 256 men, big men on campus too, from their campuses. Half of them will have to choose something else to do in their career 3.5 to 4 years on average after they start playing it. Are those the guys that you're targeting? I mean, who are you guys targeting for those?
First of all, that number is an average based on who actually plays, like who actually gets out and plays on the field. That's how they measure that stat.
Yes.
When you talk about players that just make the roster, the number drops significantly. So you're talking about an average age, it's probably like 2021 that are starting in the NFL because of the 3-year rule. And by the time they get out, they're only 23, 24 years old. And one of the things that we look at is we look at football as a moment in your life, not your whole life. And so a lot of what we're building is a support structure. So every year you play in our league is a 1-year scholarship to vocational or secondary education for a career beyond football. Career training, similar to the program that I launched with the White House 3 years ago with First Lady Michelle Obama about training veterans. We're going to be using a lot of the same programs with players. And then last but not least, by putting Troy at the top of this, Polamalu, one of the things we want to focus on is longevity. Troy, in one of by far the most brutal positions in all of professional sports, was able to have a 12 or 13-year career in the NFL entirely predicated around how he took care of himself. And one of the things that you'll see over the next couple of months is our training program, our nutrition program, our health and wellness, and our medical program is unlike anything that's ever existed in professional sports.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.